Hi folks, this is all the fruit. I'm in Heidelberg, Germany. Very befittingly, here is a population of the German Medlar. I'm balancing on those steep slopes here, where those medlars grow. Well, the medlar is most probably not native to Germany. It got introduced by the Romans 2000 years ago, but it has escaped from cultivation. It is found in a feral state in Germany. That's why it was described as German Medlar, because Linné, who gave it this name, thought sincerely that it's native to Germany. But actually it's native to the Caucasus and Black Sea and Caspian Sea area. Very interesting. So many fruits are native to that area. And in that area they are still cultivated on quite a large scale. While in Germany it's basically a forgotten fruit, a heritage fruit more or less. Why? Well, I think in the Stone Age and also in early millennials, it must have been one of the best fruits around. Imagine, back then cherries were small and bitter, figs were small and probably not too tasty. Oh no, figs were always tasty but quite small. Wild apples and pears were nothing special. Strawberries were tiny. Well, this was actually one of the best fruit you could have thousands of years ago. A couple hundred years ago, when we got a lot of modern plum and pear and apple and cherry varieties, this fruit got a little bit more neglected, but was still cultivated on a large scale, because it was used for the preservation of wine and cider. And yeah, as I said, in places like Turkey, the Caucasus, the Balkans, it's still quite popular, but not in Germany. I guess in Germany you can have a lot of those exotic fruit nowadays. Also, it's quite hard to harvest and trade medlars properly. I made a video at a different medlar population about 2 weeks ago, where I collected a lot of medlars which were unripe. Now they are getting ripe in my flat, but they are not really tasty, too dry and not sweet enough. Now would be a better time to collect them, and I will collect some. But now is also a good time to start eating them. The question when you harvest medlars is, do you want to eat them immediately, or do you want to eat them later? Assuming you want to eat them, assuming you don't want to use them for cider or liquor or jelly or jam or for cooking or for preservation of something. Imagine you want to eat them out of hand. Well, let's pick a fruit. It's ripe enough. That's shown by the fact that it's detached at the correct spot. I didn't collect 1 or 2 leaves together with it. It's tart. Phew. Juicy and sour and tart. Strange. Well, what fruit should I eat then? Oh. Well, the older fruit, they look kind of rotten. Look at them. They are brown and soft and gooey. Ugh. You want to eat anything like that? Another one. This one is hard and brown and a little bit soft inside. Well, actually, the ones you should eat are the brown and soft ones that look like they are rotten. They look like a rotten fruit. Look at them. This fruit is so amazing and so tasty that I wrote my thesis about it. My diploma thesis in Germany. At my time, this was what nowadays is called master's thesis. An amazing fruit. And when you introduce to this fruit, the first fruit basically makes or breaks your relationship with a medlar. The fruit are only edible when they are soft and gooey. But this happens when all the cells explode and the sugars get released and some chemical processes happen in the fruit. And then the fruit basically has no protection against all outer influences except for its thin skin. Fungi, insects, bacteria, everything can enter the fruit and it can start rotting really. Look, here some birds picked at this one fruit. Well, and when you eat the first fruit and it's intact, yeah, first you need someone to persuade you to eat this rotten looking stuff. But if it tastes good, you will be a Medlar fan for life. I've given this fruit to hundreds of people and only about 1% said it doesn't taste good. But if the first fruit is rotten, moldy, rotten, unpleasant in some way, you will never try a second one. However, if the first 2 or 3 fruit you tried are good, and then you find a rotten fruit, you will spit it out, but you will try again. As I said, the first fruit is making or breaking your relationship with the Medlar. Nice. Those are not the sweetest fruit because last week's were not sunny at all. Also, it grows in a northern slope where it doesn't get almost any sun anyways. But they are still really good. How shall I describe them? Sweet and sour, a very nice balance between sweet and sour. Also a very nice flavor. A very nice flavor of processed fruit. It's similar to applesauce and plum jam. I love it. Phew. And I taught my children to love it. There's something of a plum and something of an apple. It's most closely related to the hawthorn. Actually, many botanists think it should be in the genus Crategus or hawthorn. I have to be careful not to slip here. Yeah, but now, how should you harvest the fruit? Well, for immediate consumption, you should harvest the soft ones. However, this stuff here will not last long. If you don't eat it till tomorrow, you can forget it. It will start rotting and become disgusting. So basically, the fruits which are ripe, you could harvest them for immediate consumption or eat them within a couple hours. Let's look at this fruit here. Here you can see how fast it goes from ripe but intact to gooey and mushy. Is this good to eat? Yeah, not rotten. It's basically like Russian roulette. 1 out of 5 or 10 fruit will be rotten, and you have to persuade yourself how good the last couple ones were. But if you are hooked already, you will continue trying more and more Medlar fruit. Well, this one you could basically store it till tomorrow. You can eat it now because the inside is already gooey. Only on the outside there is still some hard and astringent part. But still, you cannot harvest a lot of those except if you want to make something out of them, because once you arrive home, you will have a giant ball of goo in your plastic bag or in your basket or in your container. When you want to harvest medlars for later consumption, like in a day, in 2 days, in 3 days, in a week, you should wait till the first medlars on the tree start getting soft. Then you can go there, eat the first medlars, and collect the remaining ones. This one you could store for a couple days. Yeah. Only half of the inside is already soft and gooey. It looks rotten. I would still leave those on the trees. I would also leave the ones which were correct when they were young, and go with those. The fact that there are already a lot of soft fruit on the tree shows that the fruit are ripe, and those will get soft in a couple days. So now is this time window, this window of opportunity when you can collect them, bring them home, and when you arrive home they will be still intact. Then you put them in flat boxes and check them every day. And every fruit that gets soft and gooey, you collect it and you eat it on the same day. Or you can freeze them if you want to eat them later. Some people also say that they need frost to get ripe. No, that's not true. They are already ripe. They're even getting soft and mushy without frost. We are still in late October. We had no frost around here. But frost will accelerate the ripening. If you're in areas, especially in continental areas, they will not be 100% ripe at the time the first frost comes, and then the frost will accelerate their getting soft and mushy and gooey. But you don't need frost. I've seen them growing in frost-free areas of the Costa Tropical in southern Spain. Between mango and banana plants, and there they still get ripe without any frost. So folks, once again, when you want to harvest medlars, you wait till the first fruit on the tree or on the shrub, usually the feral ones are shrubs and the wild ones too. You wait till the first ones look brown and rotten, which means they are ready to eat. You go there, you eat the brown and rotten ones. Amazing, not very sweet here, but I didn't expect them to be in this northern slope. And then you collect the ones which are still hard. They should come off easily without you having to pull them with force. They should come off at exactly the spot where the fruit ends and the stalk begins. If you have a centimeter or two of stalk with leaves attached to the fruit, they are still not ripe enough. Those you can bring home and eat them for weeks. However, that's the problem. If a commercial farm waits until the first fruit are soft, well, they are losing the soft fruit, and when they harvest the other fruit, they will start ripening immediately, within a day or two. But you need to transport them to the shop. You need to store them there until the customers buy them. When the customers buy them, they don't want to arrive at home with a bag of goo. So it's always a risk. So whenever you find them in shops around here, usually we find them in Turkish shops. Usually they are Italian fruits from Italy, which are sold in Turkish shops, and you can see that they have still leaves attached to them. So they have been picked too unripe. And then they are very disappointing. You try the hard fruits, they're very disappointing. You try the rotten fruits, they're also very disappointing. You don't eat the soft, ripe fruits in time, they will disappoint you by turning into goo. And that's why it's quite difficult to sell them to modern people nowadays. Big pity. I like them a lot. I would like to see them in shops, but basically wherever I go, if the climate is fit for medlars, I find out where they grow, and if I'm there in October, November, I just go and pick some for myself. So folks, this was a short introduction on how to pick and eat, and when and from which trees and at which state of ripening to pick and eat German medlars. Stay tuned for a lot more fruit videos from the beautiful city of Heidelberg. Don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe.